what you see in front of me is my full stock of goods wagons for Dearsley. All these wagons in these two sidings have now been converted, and I've been testing the couplings for a week now, and I'm pretty happy with them. They really work quite well. I've yet to do the five vans in the back there. The yellow flags you can see mark the positions of the under-track magnets that uncouple the trucks. In this video I will show you how I retrofitted these magnets under track that had already been laid and ballasted. Before I do this, however, there's a couple of things I'd like to show you first. One thing I forgot to show you in part one is that you can increase the weight of the paddles on the hook by applying a little bit of solder. It makes the action more positive. This Hornby Class 08 diesel is the main workhorse of Dearsley, and it will be doing most of the shunting in the goods yard. I didn't find it so easy to adapt the Sprat Winkles to the Locomotive because the chassis and the motor and everything underneath them is more complex than the trucks. Also, it's a bigger investment. However, it can work quite well. What I've done here is to just fit a thin bar between the buffer stops. So this dispenses with any plates or any need to fix any hooks. If you mount hooks on both ends of your wagons, then whichever way this locomotive approaches, all you need is the discrete bar, which is in fact on the front of this. You can probably just see it, but that's all you need just to connect to the hook on the trucks to operate the shunting. However, as you may remember, I've decided that on most of my trucks I will only fit one hook. So there is a problem in coupling up with one end of each train. In order to overcome this, I have fitted a couple of wagons with hooks at both ends. For me, the most obvious wagon to start with is the guards van. All goods trains leaving Dearsley will have a guards van at one end, and so it seemed logical, therefore, as it was always going to be at one end or the other of each train, to fit this with a hook and the droppers at each end of the van, as you can see here. I also decided to fit a small open truck with hooks and droppers at each end as well, and over the next week or two I will be experimenting and playing around with this to see if this is enough for the trucks I've got. Okay, so now we're going to dig a cavity in the track to conceal the magnet. The yellow flag marks the place that I'm going to cut the sleepers, and I'm just going to use a heavy-duty steel-back razor blade just to chop through two of the sleepers. That's one that side, and that's two sleepers chopped through. They're stuck to the ballast at the moment, so I'm now going to ease out that section, cut right through that length of ballast up to the sleepers either side of this without cutting through any more than two sleepers. So there's one, the other's popped out. Oh, there it is. So there's one sleeper. I can save that and replace it later. Now it's a question of finishing the cut, just cutting down between the ballast and the sleeper I don't want to remove, and chopping down through the layer of cork, or in my case balsa wood, that underlays my track. Okay, that's a good chop through with the razor blade. Now we need to dig that out. I use an old lino cutting tool, which has got a sort of like a little small gouge, and it's curved, so it's quite useful for getting in and digging up sections of the track. The balsa wood has a grain, so it's fairly easy to remove. In fact, pretty much it did it in one go. Okay, there's a cavity there now which will easily take the magnet. Right, I'll just hoover that up, tidy up, and then we'll put the magnet in. The bar magnets are quite long. In fact, if I used them this length I would have to have removed 3 sleepers. But they can be fairly easily snapped in two with a couple of pairs of pliers, and that's what I've done on Dearsley. Now I've mixed up a generous amount of rapid epoxy glue, and I'm going to put plenty of that into the hole in the track. Just get a good quantity in there. Just spread it around. Okay, then I can lower in half a magnet with my brass tweezers, place it in between the track and just push it down so that it's underneath the sleepers. Just do the other end to get a bit of pressure on there. Then I could apply some adhesive to each of the sleepers and just cosmetically replace them. I might as well do that while I've got some fresh epoxy. When that's all dried and ballasted, there won't be any way of telling that there's a magnet underneath there. Okay, I'm going to finish with a little shunting manoeuvre. You can see the magnets in the track there and there. I haven't covered them and reballasted yet, but when they are hidden, then some discrete marker is a good idea so that you can position your trucks from coupling. As we can see them, I'll just take those out of the way. And what we're going to do is take these two empty trucks from this siding here and join them onto the row of empties here, and then pull them out. After each selection of trucks, I'm going to push these loaded ones back into this position. Fingers crossed.